Hello, News Extra family. Sorry to be coming your way a little late, but you must know the circumstance, and of course, you know it's the sign of the times, politics and elections. Well, I'm here now, and it's a pleasure to once again, in fact, back to back, stand in for your regular presenter. Tonight, we are getting closer and closer to the general elections, and so naturally, politics and election issues top tonight's outline. But away from all these, the Justice Walter Onnogeng's matter has simply not gone away. The appeal court has its say this Wednesday, and we have it. Now, we don't have much time for the extra, but then we shall take the usual business news stories, empowerment stories, and then call it a day. That's just about it. But it's no less interesting. So let's get on with it. I am Joseph Johnson, and this is News Extra, or if you like, an abridged version. Welcome. Now, the prospects of President Muhammadu Buhari getting re-elected towards consolidating his changed Nigeria enterprise are becoming brighter as presidential campaign team of the governing APC crisscrosses the country to seek understanding and support. This came to light when the highly revered councils of traditional rulers for Ebonyi and Cross River states formally endorsed the second-term bid of the Nigerian leader. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president was in the two states as part of his votes-seeking drive.
Speaking on behalf of 140 paramount rulers in Ebonyi State, the Chairman Council of Traditional Rulers, Eze Charles Mpuma, appreciated the dogged determination by President Muhammadu Buhari to secure the country, diversify the economy for job creation, fight corruption, and provide critical infrastructure in the various economic sectors. He said the monarch's endorsement of the return of President Muhammadu Buhari to power next month was also born out of the robust relationship he has with Governor Dave Umahi.
We believe that your robust relationship with our son, the governor, and their love for him and the state will surely earn you and only you votes in Ebonyi State, irrespective of party differences.
We have fared very well as the people of Southeast in terms of distribution of projects, infrastructure. And this is a fact that nobody can controvert. And we have benefited very much as Ebonyi people in terms of your agricultural, program. And that's why, sir, you see outside the mountains of rice, which is, to showcase what you have deposited in Ebonyi State. I'm doing first tenure, and I want to do second tenure. So I wish Mr. President what I wish myself.
President Muhammadu Buhari expressed heartfelt appreciation to the royal fathers for the show of support, understanding, and goodwill. His administration, he said, will remain focused in meeting genuine aspirations of the country, and more federal presence will be felt in the state and the southeast Nigeria.
I am very pleased you have appreciated the efforts the government has made in terms of infrastructure, and especially in terms of agriculture. And I'm very pleased that Ebonyi State deserved and felt the impact, of federal government's help towards farmers, both small and large-scale ones.
It was a similar story in the neighboring Cross River State when President Muhammadu Buhari paid a courtesy visit to the palace of the Obong of Calabar. The Obong of Calabar, flanked by Etubongs and various members of the Executive Forum, without mincing words, said the people of the state are well pleased with the president and proud of his revolutionary initiatives towards making Nigeria better. Cross River State, he said, never had it so good as in the last 3.5 years, both in the provision of infrastructure as well as the appointments of their indigents into key government positions.
I want you to do more for us. And in doing more for us, that is why we have all come out to say we'll support you, we'll uplift you, we'll vote for you to make sure that will come back and then continue these projects for us.
President Buhari thanked the royal fathers for the honor done to him with their endorsement and reaffirmed his commitment towards enhancing public good at all times.
I assure Your Majesty that this administration is determined to do its best in terms of strategic infrastructure so that the whole country will be opened up. Economy, we are not doing too badly. Young, able-bodied persons that were very idle before now have gone back to land, and nobody is regretting it. As long as we are here, Your Majesty, all those who abuse trust will be taken before the law, and we'll make sure they are punished.
President Muhammadu Buhari was accompanied to the palace by Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River State. From Calabar, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has promised Nigerians of more infrastructural development as well as improved economy if the Buhari administration is given another opportunity to govern. He stated this during his campaign visit to traditional rulers in Ondo State.
The first port of call of the Vice President was Ondo Town. At the palace of the Oshimawe of Ondo Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Adesimbo Kiladejo, Vice President Osinbajo said Nigeria is blessed with viable resources and has many ideas, but all this could not be actualized because of corrupt practices. Hence, President Buhari's administration is committed to fighting the menace.
We are investing heavily in infrastructure. And even in the southwest, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway or all the way to Benin, these are roads that we have put substantial amounts of money aside to do.
My people believe that you are a good ambassador of the Yoruba Valley.
The Vice President also visited Jegun of Ile-Oluji, His Royal Majesty Julius Adetime, where he promised more developmental projects if APC is voted to rule the country again. The royal fathers prayed for divine protection for the campaign team and success in the forthcoming elections. In Nakure, Toyin Batire, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says his ambition to seek re-election is to, among others, objectively harness the nation's natural endowment and make life more meaningful to the people, especially the less privileged. The president was at the APC presidential campaign rallies in Ebonyi and Cross River states, where he assured Nigerians that his leadership will not give up in the fight against corruption, which is responsible for the nation's underdevelopment. Political correspondent Saliu Abdullahi reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who appeared in a typical Southeast regalia as the Ogbuagu of Igbo land, was received by the people of Ebonyi State, who came out in their numbers to show support for his re-election come February 16. President Buhari says his ambition beyond 2019 is to remain focused in consolidating on the change his administration is championing for the good of the country and leave behind a legacy of leadership the future generation can be proud of.
I, as the president today, have never been in a position of trust and abuse it. As a governor, in the whole of the 6 northeastern states before, as Minister of Petroleum for over 3 years, and as a former head of state. I was arrested, detained, investigated, but they never found anything wanting against me.
APC stakeholders in the Southeast and beyond described President Buhari as a symbol of hope for the country and passionately appealed to the people to convert their numbers to ensure that the president win the 25% votes in the Southeast.
We are an independent nation. The right to determine our policies are not negotiable. We welcome friends, but we will not welcome interference. We will not welcome dictatorship. We will not welcome anyone whose interest is to subject us to a set of policies that will further pauperize our people. He knows that no nation has ever been great without science and technology. And Mr. President is supporting science, technology, and innovation.
The resolved not to trade in any position from the first election to the last. APC is taking over Ebonyi State.
Prepare yourselves for vote. Bring your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. Protect your vote.
Highlight was the reception of about 25 political parties, including 3 governorship candidates who have endorsed the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari. The APC presidential campaign train was in Calabar, the capital of Cross River State, where President Muhammadu Buhari reaffirmed that APC will win the forthcoming elections and assured Cross-Varians that his administration will not fail in its efforts of rebuilding a new Nigeria.
We made substantial progress in security, in economy, and in fighting corruption. That we are quite comfortable, that we are working hard, and the result is very visible for those who want to be honest to themselves, to Nigeria, and to Africa.
There is no statesman in the planet or in the modern world that will voluntarily cede part of his territory to a foreign country.
He is teaching the youth accountability, probity, honesty, integrity, honor, trust, attitude, character, selfless leadership, common sense, and commitment. Encourage him.
Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Also, President Muhammadu Buhari has assured members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, that he is fully behind the party and its candidates in every state of the federation and campaigning for them wherever he goes. Presidential spokesman Garba Shehu says President Buhari is for the APC in every state, and there is no doubt about that, despite his immense cross-party support. He noted President Buhari's open endorsement of Hope Uzodinma, the APC gubernatorial candidate in Imo State, whose hand the president raised high before the crowd at the campaign rally. Still talking about campaign rallies, Forward with Buhari Group has urged the electorate to vote for President Muhammadu Buhari and other candidates of All Progressives Congress APC in a forthcoming election in order to take the country to the next level. The leader of the group, Senator Lawal Shuaibu, made the call during their ongoing rally for the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari in Lagos. Nosa Osula reports.
Weeks to the presidential election, an independent campaign platform which cuts across party, civil society groups, ethnic and religious leanings has embarked on massive grassroots campaign for President Muhammadu Buhari. The group, known as Forward with Buhari, says President Muhammadu Buhari remains the best man for the job of moving Nigeria forward. According to the group, Nigeria has moved forward under the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in spite of the huge challenges it inherited. They added that the president has demonstrated that he understands what must be done to fix Nigeria for the ordinary citizens to enjoy, instead of what's held in the past.
When President Buhari or Vice President Yemi Osinbajo visit a state, conduct a rally and leave, what happens next? We take over. We occupy the space, we talk to people, we enlighten them about the laudable projects, the laudable programs and laudable achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
President Buhari has been exemplary in terms of discipline, in terms of clearing and removing the societal ills.
And this is a movement for us to converse more youths to believe in the cause of the president and as well the party.
You could tell that all out to vote en masse for President Muhammadu Buhari because we believe in continuity. We don't want nobody to come and disrupt the plans of the president for the youth.
Campaign for the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari is intensifying as the day of the presidential election draws nearer. In Lagos, Nusa Usula, NTA News.
And from Lagos, let's turn to Akwa Ibom State, where the people of Mbo local government area have been promised that Ibaka Dipsy Port project will retain its name and developed for freight activities to solve the challenges of importation in the country. Governorship candidates of the All Progressives Congress APC, Obong Sima-Ekere, gave the assurance at a campaign rally in Mbo local government area. Imo Etemodo completes the story.
Mbo was indeed at their best cultural display. The All Progressive Congress APC governorship candidate Obong Sima-Ekere then gave them more reasons to celebrate. He promised that Mbo will serve as an economic hub in Akwa Ibom State, riding on a fishing terminal and fish processing factory, even as a Ibaka seaport will retain its name.
Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for believing in the change agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari. We need you to become business owners, to become employers of labor, so that you become employers and take other people on. That's what you need.
State Campaign Council Chairman, Captain Sam Enwan, and other APC chieftains assure the people that Obong Sima-Ekere will not let them down if elected.
We once again present to you the man that you already know. Election is carry go for President Buhari. Election is carry go for Obong Sima-Ekere.
Mbo stakeholders were orbit too in giving their support to the APC. There were presentation of candidates and defectors into the APC. Obong Sima-Ekere also visited the paramount ruler of Mbo. In Mbo local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
If you think the last has been heard of the story of the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, then you may be wrong, as News Extra has more after the break. Don't go away.
My people, we are getting better, we are going higher. Today points to the future and the next level. We are better and moving forward. Everything go to the next level. Everything go decline to the next level. Good jobs on call to the next level. Our road on call to the next level. People money call to the next level. Trader money call to the next level. Tailor money call to the next level. Dresser money call to the next level.
We have done more with less in infrastructural developments. Roads, railways, major bridges, schools, energy and power, air and seaports, welfare of serving and retired personnel, both civilian and military.
Prosperity for everyone.
On behalf of the government
and the entire good people of Kano State, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Ganduje humbly welcomes the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, the National Chairman of All Progressives Congress, Chief Adams Oshomole, and the entire Buhari support groups on a one-day presidential campaign rally. Date, Thursday, 31st January 2019. Venue, Sani Abacha Stadium, Kano. Time, 2 p.m. President Muhammadu Buhari will commission 2.5-kilometer Murtala Muhammad flyover, which was abandoned at 20% stage but completed by Governor Abdullahi Ganduje. Commission Koforua by Bukavu Barracks Underpass Bridge, initiated by the governor. An ultra-modern international skill acquisition center that will be training youths for over 20 different trades. Kano welcomes you, Mr. President. Allah Yekau Kalatia, Baba Buhari. Announcer, Mala Muhammad Garba, Kano State Commissioner of Information, Youth and Culture.
I have seen these young Africans prosper, from some who didn't even know what to do with their lives until they got the $5,000 seed capital from Tony Elumelu Foundation, and the mentorship and the training. That gladdens my heart.
I saw this ad about the Tony Elumelu Foundation. I applied.
That was the pivotal moment.
Africa Fashion Week London just came after I participated in the Tony Elumelu Foundation entrepreneurship programs.
Tony Elumelu, grâce à sa fondation, permet de donner une boussole à tous les entrepreneurs de cette fondation.
Our role is not only to empower young Africans directly, we should be a voice, advocate, catalyst for economic empowerment of Africa.
The future of Africa is in your hands.
Become a Tony Elumelu entrepreneur. Apply now.
It's a season of worship at the Dunamis International Gospel Center. Join the multitudes of worshipers at the nation's worship in His presence. Theme: the battle is the Lord's. Ministering Dr. Pastor Paul and Dr. Mrs. Becky Paul and Neche, Bishop Paul Murray, Micah Stampis, Steve Crown, Bukola Beckers, Prosper Ochimana, Osina Chiwachuku, Tusin Yekan, Owi Abutu, Elijah Oyelade, Emma Sings, Dunamis Voice International. Date 1st February 2019. Time 9 p.m. Venue The Glory Dome, Airport Road, Abuja, Nigeria. Come, experience open heavens worship. Jesus is Lord.
2019, Atiku Abubakar. See, we don't articulate.
Get articulated.
I go follow the man where Sabi to go do. I go follow the man where Sabi to walk. I go follow the man where go create employment. I go follow the man where go stop the hunger. I go vote for the movement we go make Nigeria walk again. I don't articulate. Igbo people articulate. My Yoruba people don't articulate. Nigeria articulate. Hausa people don't articulate. Roma, Tifi, Igala, Ishekiri, Nupe, Manuri. Everybody don't articulate.
For a better Nigeria, vote Atiku Abubakar for president 2019.
You're still with me, Joseph Johnson, on News Extra. The Court of Appeal has turned down an application to stay the Code of Conduct's trial of Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onnoghen. The court, in a ruling, said the Administration of Criminal Act has long stopped the stay of criminal trials as a matter of right. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
Following the pronouncement of the Code of Conduct Tribunal adjourning proceedings to hear the defense motion on jurisdiction along with the prosecution's motion to have the CJN stand down, the defense ran to the appellate court asking for a stay of proceedings. The Court of Appeal now says that stay of proceedings are only granted in special and exceptional cases and are not meant to stall criminal trials. Justice Abdul Aboki, who led the panel of 3 justices, said that Section 306 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act was specifically introduced to check the abuse of stay of proceedings in criminal trials. The appellate court therefore declined the prayers to stay the trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The Court of Appeal, however, noted that all lower courts know that the rule is that once an appeal has been entered at the appellate court, no further step can be taken by the lower court until the determination of the issues being appealed. The panel then adjourned the hearing and determination of the substantive matter on appeal to Monday, the 4th of February. What the Court of Appeal has just done in this matter is to restate the position of the law, which we have seen in similar high-profile matters in the past. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
And Nigerians have continued to react to the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen as the head of the judicial arm of government. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria described as baseless and inappropriate insinuations linking the suspension with the conduct of the forthcoming general elections. Marijanatu Adam Said reports.
Since the commencement of trial of Justice Walter Onoge for alleged false declaration of assets and his subsequent suspension by the President on the order of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, various groups and individuals as well as foreign nationals have continued to react to the issue in different ways. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria said the Code of Conduct Tribunal has exclusive jurisdiction and power to determine the case against Justice Walter Onoge.
The matter has not been decided by the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The Code of Conduct Tribunal simply gave an order saying that he must be suspended, otherwise they will not be able to deal with this issue given the position of the Chief Justice of Nigeria in the judicial system.
Although there is no provision specifically in respect of suspending the Chief Justice, it is derived from Interpretation Act that he who appoints also has the power to suspend.
We as Nigerians should be able to separate those kind of sentiments from when a presidential decision is taken by the president.
The Senate leader, Senator Ahmad Lawal, who stressed the need to enhance the nation's electoral process, advised the Senate president to withdraw the case he filed at the Supreme Court in respect of the suspension.
We are not discussing the need or necessity of going to Supreme Court. We are discussing the procedure in this case, the process, that there was a breach, that there was an usurpation of the powers of the Senate by the Senate President, and that he has no such powers and therefore should withdraw the case, come back. If he wishes, invite us back. We talk about this, whether we should go to the Supreme Court for interpretation or not. But to do otherwise will compel us as a caucus to also approach the Supreme Court to say that we are never a party to this and therefore this case should be thrown out.
The guests advised Nigerians, especially public officers, to respect their oath of office. In Abuja, Murjanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
Now, conducting a free, hitch-free and credible elections requires a peaceful environment devoid of threats to lives and property. And so, ahead of the forthcoming general elections, efforts towards ensuring that peace reigns supreme have kick-started with capacity building of strategic election stakeholders. The latest came from the British Broadcasting Corporation Media Action. Timothy Yusuf reports.
How can we work together?
Participants at this workshop are management staff of various media organizations, security agencies, and other partners involved in election activities. They are interacting on how best to manage misconducts before, during, and after the forthcoming general elections.
Are there things the media does that complicate security situation?
It was an opportunity for the Nigerian Television Authority to give account of its commitment towards the conduct of peaceful polls.
Professionalism is the key word or the watchword. NTA has always remained neutral, and we try to give balanced coverage to all the political actors.
What the 2010 Electoral Act had provided, we're going to provide security for the electorates, INEC officials, as well as the citizens.
Similarly, the European Center for Electoral Support has also convened a trainers workshop for election security personnel for the forthcoming elections. The training was aimed at improving the skills and strengthening commitment of security agencies to promptly respond to cases of security threats before and after the elections.
Proper policing and proper safeguarding of the election is a precondition for a credible election.
We cannot conduct elections without the security agencies securing the environment for the elections.
The participants reaffirmed their commitment to remain neutral throughout the electoral processes. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
There is no doubt the fact that election periods are booming times for broadcasting outfits to make brisk business from political parties. In fact, sometimes events overlap, especially live coverages. Collect the money, yes, but risk penalty and possibility of license revocation if you allow hate speech on your platform. Now, that's not from me. These are the words of the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, Ishaq Modibo Kau, as he addressed newsmen in Abuja. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports that the perpetrators may go scot-free, but not the media organization that they use.
Selling of their party manifestos is one of the agendum that characterizes political campaigns world over. Quoting some of the speeches that contravene broadcasting code in Nigeria, Ishaq Modibo Kau said most TV and radio stations are guilty of allowing their clients to spread hate speech either directly or indirectly.
Expressions and language used in the excerpts captured can be seen to be abusive and not decent for broadcast. 525 says political broadcast shall be in decent language. And 533 says a live coverage shall be truthful, decent, fair, and balanced. Which is on live broadcast.
Journalists asked questions and made inputs on how they've been able to handle phone calls and text messages in their stations. This, the Director General said, they need to do more.
Presenters were also observed to exhibit bias and subjective mindset in comments they make during their programs.
4 TV stations and 4 radio stations were listed to be culpable of contravening the provisions of the NBC Code on political broadcasting and have been listed for sanction. As the February 16 and March 2nd, 2019 general elections draw near, the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wants media outfits to take into cognizance of the fact that freedom has limitation, thereby adhering strictly to the broadcasting code. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
You know the watchwords, make your money, but avoid hate speech. As the general election approaches, Nigerians have been reminded of the need to vote credible candidates that can cause positive changes in their lives. These were the views of speakers at the 2019 Tribune Symposium on Electoral Integrity, Legitimate Democratic Institution and Good Governance. Adeola Mokive reports that the new look of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper was unveiled to the public.
The unveiling of the new face of a tabloid provided a platform for eminent Nigerians to voice their concerns on national issues. They also examined electoral integrity as it affects good governance.
A country with the characteristics that Nigeria has of diversity in ethnicity, in religion, and so on, needs to be a true federation.
Let's be critical of one another. Let's be constructive in our criticism. And also, elections give us an opportunity to do what we need to do as citizens.
Country will go from strength to strength. People should go out there without fear and go and cast their ballots.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who was represented, charged the media to be forthright in their political reportage.
Encourage good governance by imbibing peaceful democratic ideals and electoral processes devoid of violence.
High point was the official unveiling of the new look of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. The difference between the old and the new is the red masthead that has now replaced the old purple color.
We acknowledge the fact that ideas, even ones as great as those behind the vision for this company, need constant renewal.
Established by the late sage Chief Obafemi Awolowo on the 16th of November 1949, the publication, which boasts of a library that has preserved the nation's history from 1949 till date, has weathered storms in its 70 years of existence and maintained its stance as a recognized national daily.
Chief Alpha Babalola was named the winner of the 2018 Awolowo Leadership Awards. In Lagos, Adeola Omokive, NTA News.
Thank you, Adeola. A bit on security now. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, says the force is determined to ensure optimal professionalism of the Nigeria Police to guarantee the delivery of a peaceful, secure and credible general elections in line with the commitment of global practice. The Acting Inspector General stated this at a meeting with the squadron commanders of the Mobile Police Force in charge of operations at the force headquarters. The police force will demonstrate zero tolerance to political thuggery and illegal bearing of firearms under any guise before, during and after the general elections.
Avail yourselves of the pieces of critical information provided by your resident electoral commissioners and utilize them effectively in perfecting all arrangements for effective deployment of personnel and logistics.
The Acting Inspector General of Police assures Nigerians and the international community of their preparedness for the general elections.
We are conscious of our critical roles in this process and are determined more than ever before to perform these roles within the dictates of the law and with due respect to citizens' rights.
In another development, a workshop for senior officers of the Nigerian police focusing on 4 key areas with a view to strengthening accountability and professionalism was conveyed by the technical advisor to the Acting Inspector General of Police.
At the end of the day, this workshop will assist the officers to develop strategy for their individual departments, and that will now form the guideline for future activities and service delivery.
You do not discharge your responsibilities well unless you know exactly what those responsibilities are and how to discharge them.
Are trying to identify the gaps, the loopholes that are existing so that they are filled up.
Meanwhile, the Acting Inspector General of Police has appointed 6 new Deputy Inspectors General of Police. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
You're watching the NTA News Extra with the extra touch. What are experts saying at the 2nd Nigeria International Petroleum Summit? You want to know? Of course you do. Then stay tuned after the break.
Nigeria people, make we make the right choice, yo. Make we vote for a man of integrity. Hey, and so make we gather together and make this change. Work, my people of Nigeria. Together we go carry Nigeria to the next level. Nigeria don't decide. Vote Baba Buhari. Baba Buhari, the man of integrity. Hey, vote Baba Buhari. Man, we no corrupt, we no go chop our money. Hey, agriculture, the next level. Fight corruption, the next level. Good roads, to the next level. Electricity, to the next level. Railway, the next level. Empower, the next level. Greater money. For good health we go. Baba Buhari. My people, for the next level. ABC, next level. Naija people, make we all come out to vote Baba Buhari.
This message is from Buhari Next Level Group.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
I thought leaving the country was the best decision for me and my future.
I left for a better life.
We were picked up by immigration officials and sent to a detention camp.
I spent 8 months
in the detention camp.
There was no food, no water.
I saw people being beaten like animals.
Some women were raped. Some women were sold as slaves.
I thought I would never see my loved ones again.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life.
I have wasted all my savings.
I have to start all over again.
Migration is a human phenomenon which cannot be stopped. But if we choose to migrate, we advocate that it should be done in a safe, orderly, regular, and dignified way, and not in a dangerous and tortuous manner.
This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons.
All TVs say picture quality, but never mention the most important color, black.
Thanks for staying tuned. This is News Extra. For the business update, let's join Abolade Salami in our Lagos Network Center. Good to see you, Abolade.
Good to see you, Joseph. Good evening and welcome to Business News. In order for the maritime sector to contribute the projected 10% growth to the nation's economy, acquisition of infrastructure and capacity building are important. Director General, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dakuku Peterside at the forum in Lagos, said the consistent report by the federal government to drive changes in the maritime sector through regulatory and infrastructure development has helped reform the operating environment as well improve our ease of doing business.
This for strategic changes in policies so as to restore growth in the economy, invest in our people, and build a globally competitive economy. The regulators and stakeholders will continue to push for these reforms as our interest remains to develop indigenous capacity in the shipping and maritime sector to ensure a high-level playing field for operators to tap into the vast economic benefits inherent in the shipping sector.
But for 2019, we expect growth to be a touch faster. Not significantly, but a touch faster. What that says is that a growing economy, such as we expect, means that the opportunities for the maritime sector will increase.
Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has issued a fresh directive for the commencement of the end-to-end electronic payment of salaries, pensions, supplies, and taxes. In a statement issued by the Apex Bank Director of Payment System Management, Sam Okojere, the directive is said would help enhance the adoption of electronic payments through a safe, efficient, and effective mechanism. Now let's talk equities. Equities market dipped 0.11% at the close of Wednesday's trading. Joy Kenabakwe is standing by for details.
The bearish run in Nigerian equities market was recorded at the close of midweek trading, depreciating by 0.11% with an all-share index of 31,145.34 basis points. Volume of shares traded was 249 million, valued at 3.12 billion naira. This exchanged hands in 4,018 deals, while market capitalization closed at 11.6 trillion naira. On sectoral performance, NSE banking, industrial, insurance, and oil and gas all posted gains, appreciating by 0.10%, 0.23%, 0.89%, and 1.40% respectively, while consumer goods closed in the red, depreciating by 0.76%. And that's it on Stocks Market Report. It's back to you, Abolade.
Thank you, Joy. And that's a wrap on Business News. It's back to you, Joseph, in Abuja for the continuation of the news. Good evening.
Thank you very much indeed, Abolade. The African hydrocarbon industry has been challenged to be more committed to infrastructure development to be at par with the global hydrocarbon industry, where experts say technology is evolving at high speed. Lydia Sampson reports that the second Nigeria International Petroleum Summit critically examined challenges and projections for the future of hydrocarbon fuel.
In spite of all the talk about imminent end of the petroleum age, experts say
Oil and gas will continue to play the leading role of meeting the world's hunger for energy for the next quarter of century and even beyond. Young industry experts like Mohammed Mansour are expected to be the ones shaping the future of hydrocarbon. For him and other delegates here, finding solutions to the continent's energy challenge is key.
The more we try to polarize ourselves in Africa, the more we will give opportunity and advantage for people to infiltrate the system and tell us what we are not good at.
Most of what we see is participation by upstream players. We will need to encourage even downstream players to participate in the NIPS.
Minister of State Petroleum Resources says Africa has the requisite human resources.
It was an attempt by Nigeria to take its pride of place in Africa. Biggest producer, 30, 40 years, 50 years of history of oil transactions. We needed to bring more to the continent, and that's why we started it.
Various panel discussions also reiterated the need for industry operators to uphold respect for contracts through global best practice. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Now, give me a fish, I will eat for a day. Teach me how to fish, and I will eat for a lifetime. That is an adage I believe in and love pretty well. At the moment, I'm in love too with Zamfara State, where no fewer than 6,000 women have been empowered through training on various skills and cash assistance to make themselves reliant. Now, the gesture is part of the initiatives of the National Directorate of Employment in collaboration with two non-governmental organizations. Correspondent Haliru Umar has more.
A total of 6,400 women drawn from the 14 local government areas of Zamfara State who received training on various skills benefited from the resettlement equipment and cash of 10,000 naira each to enable them become self-employed. Disabled persons were also given wheelchairs to alleviate their sufferings. The gesture is an initiative of the National Directorate of Employment in collaboration with two non-governmental organizations, namely Peaceful Change and Social Development Initiative, as well as BuhariMovement.com. Speaking at the event, Director General National Directorate of Employment, represented by the Zamfara State Coordinator Muhammad Al-Hassan, the Director General maintained that the prospective businessmen and women will, through multiplier effect, create several thousand other jobs, thereby impacting on the real sector of the economy.
Continuously, the President has demonstrated clearly his determination to empower youth through articulated program and sustain support from the government agencies.
On his part, Director General BuhariMovement.com, who doubles as the Executive Director Peaceful Change and Social Development Initiative, Engineer Lawal Hassan Dankulu, said the empowerment scheme is aimed at assisting the less privileged in the state, stressing that the initiative would be sustained. There were goodwill messages from various personalities, including representatives of the state government, who underscored the significance of the program while enjoining beneficiaries to make judicious use of the assistance. Some of the beneficiaries who spoke to NTA News expressed gratitude to the federal government and other donors, saying the assistance will go a long way in alleviating their sufferings. In Gusau, Hallir Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
Fantastic gesture there. Now, from Zamfara State to Cross River, my love continues to flow as the Cross River State government has employed about 2,500 NCE and SSCE holders as teachers and security guards. Now, that's food on the table for 2,500 households. Impressive, isn't it? Now, Okam Ekbe reports that letters of employment were issued to the employees by the chairman, State Universal Basic Education Board, Stephen Ode, on behalf of the state government.
The rigorous exercise is said to be free from bias and nepotism as applicants were offered employment based on merit. While presenting letters of appointment to the successful applicants, the chairman, State Universal Basic Education Board, Stephen Ode, commended Governor Ben Ayade. He also charged the new employees to carry out their duties effectively.
2,500 cross-Riverians are taken away from the street. And not only cross-Riverians, we have one or two
persons that are not from Cross River State because it's a destabilized Nigeria. So once you have the qualification, give them the job.
The state NUT chairman, Eyo Nsa Ita, has this to say.
I took part in that exercise, and the rating is high.
Some of the employees expressed joy on receiving their appointment letters.
The digital governor has really done it well to give this huge number of persons employment.
It's not been easy staying without a job after our service here.
The initiative, which has gainfully employed youths in the state, is said to make teaching and learning process more effective. In Calabar, Ukam Ekpe, NTA News.
And let's go to Ebonyi State because the federal government's education interventions aimed at promoting entrepreneurial culture and research have continued to yield positive results in tertiary institutions nationwide. Education Minister Malam Adamu at the 14th convocation ceremony of the Akano Ibiam Federal Polytechnic says government is committed to strengthening the capacity of polytechnics to train competent persons in human resource management. Chuku One reports.
There is no doubt that technical and vocational education plays a key role in the economic empowerment of a nation. Hence, the Minister of Education, represented by the Director of Technical and Science, Federal Ministry of Education, Adediba Adebukola, said government believes that the problem of unemployment can be solved through training.
I also urge you not to lend in your efforts in tailoring all programs towards the nation's development.
Director Obonaya Ibongo and the Executive Director Administration and Training, Nigerian Television Authority, Dr. Steve Ebo, said remarkable developments in the institution have addressed academic deficiency within the academic year.
The desire to make education affordable to all has not allowed us to effect the required increment in fees to meet the financial needs of the Polytechnic in the face of inadequate funding by government.
Nigerian education needs to be effectively revitalized. We must be able to produce people who can actually walk their talk.
Some of the graduates believe that with practical-oriented and issue-based knowledge acquired, they are prepared to become employers of labor. A total of 13,085 graduates spanning 4 academic sessions bagged the award of Higher National Diploma and National Diploma.
From Uwana Federal Polytechnic, Ebonyi State, Uchechukwu Onwe, NTA News.
The Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has destroyed a Boko Haram logistics base in Sambisa Forest in Borno State. The Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, indicates that after a series of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions revealed resurgence of human and vehicular activities at the logistics base, which had hitherto been abandoned. Accordingly, the Air Task Force deployed 2 Nigerian Air Force Alpha jets to attack the location. Overhead the target area, several structures and vehicles were seen camouflaged under thick vegetation of forest with significant human activities observed within the area. The attack aircraft recorded direct hits on the target area, resulting in the destruction of several structures and neutralization of Boko Haram terrorists. Fleeing survivors from the strikes were mopped up, and that's in follow-up attacks. Sure, you do know that man without the environment is almost an impossible cause. So, the next report after the break tells us more on efforts in protecting the environment.
But we lost. Don't be tired, guys. This isn't a loss. It's a practice for winning.
Nothing makes a mother prouder than seeing her child growing up.
But I know as he learns to lead, he'll face even more dirt, germs, and risk of illness.
That's why in changing seasons, you need strong Dettol protection. Because Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
When I was a little girl, I loved spending time with Mum and Grandma cleaning the house. I was so excited to sing in the choir.
And your shirts are always so white.
I knew what Mum's secret was. Today, I'm a modern woman that still trusts the secrets passed down to me. It's Jik, of course. The original trusted bleach, which can be used all around your house for amazing results.
Shh, it's our little secret.
It's no secret. It's Jik's best ever.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, we sincerely do apologize. We won't be able to bring you the environment story, which we earlier promoted. That's due to want of time. But don't worry, we will save it for later. Let's quickly take sports now with Guntola.
Team Nigeria fulfilled its promise to dominate the world again in the World Powerlifting Championship as the team emerged tops on the medals table of the 2019 World Powerlifting Championship, Lagos 2019. It has been days of excitement, passion, anxious moments, tears of failure and victories at the 2019 World Powerlifting Championship. As usual, Team Nigeria confirmed our superiority over other countries, winning most of the medals in all categories of the event. Of particular note is debutant Loveth Aboki that won gold for Nigeria in our first ever international event.
Road to success is not easy, but when you are determined, definitely you must surely achieve your.
The secret behind it is training and self-discipline.
Paralympics and Commonwealth gold medalist Roland Ezurike continued his 4-year unbeaten run after winning a gold medal in men's 54 kg of the 190 kg lift event. As at the time of filing this report, Team Nigeria have garnered a total of 35 medals, 16 gold, 12 silver, and 7 bronze medals. Razak Mufutau dethroned fellow compatriots, who is also our world champion, Paul Kainde, to clinch the gold medal in the 65 kg lift, while Lucy Ejike retained a gold medal in the 61 kg event. Oluwashola Olorunwa won gold in the 61 kg of the junior women lift, among other results.
I'm dedicating the gold to my mom. She's the best.
It wasn't my power, it was the will of God.
I feel very fulfilled. I feel as if I don't even know. I'm overwhelmed with the performance of my athletes.
This is another success story for Team Nigeria, also known as the Unstoppables, as the team looks forward for other international events. In Lagos, Olumide Gutola, NT News.
Great news. The death has been announced of Madam Atutu Ni Idudun, who passed away on the 1st December at the age of 92. Madam Atutu will be remembered for her contribution towards the improvement of midwifery in general hospitals in Ilorin, Minna and Kaduna from the colonial era until her retirement from service in 1976. She will be buried in Okore, Warri tomorrow. She is survived by children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, amongst whom is Air Marshal Femi Idowu, retired. And that's the size of our package tonight on News Extra. Thank you very much indeed for your company. I'm Joseph Johnson. Bye for now.